The following announcement has been paid for by Casey is Raw. Well, guys, my name is Casey is Raw, and this is Friday is Raw. Right now, I'm running a solo, so actually, we just got Steve just coming in.
Hey Casey, I didn't know you're going live already. I was like, oh shoot.
No, that's right, bro. So, I don't know what happened during SmackDown. I know,
It was good.
Rampage is
Down.
on.
I'm not watching Rampage. Rampage has been boring lately.
But how was SmackDown?
It was good. Decent solid show. A good main event between Edge and Sheamus. They actually gave them almost like it started like at 8:30 to them, so they gave them a really good time for the main event. So
Well, I need to go back. I just uh been exhausted. I actually passed out during the. I got home, I ate, and then put something on YouTube, and I passed out even before SmackDown even came
I
on.
don't.
Luckily, I was going to say, luckily, I had set my alarm, but uh, gosh, the heat's been killer. Um, so I didn't watch SmackDown at all. So I'll see. Maybe I'll watch SmackDown. Was LA Knight on tonight?
Yeah, he actually had a match. Oh, who did he face again? Oh man, I watched it, but oh yeah, he took on Austin Theory, and it was for who would face Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship.
Huh. We had text in the chat
Hey Tex.
says now he meant to say loser, loser. Yeah, loser. Say what? I think he's drunk. He's drunk texting. But I've been tired, bro. So
No, I don't blame you. Like I had a long work day. Like I
mm,
don't. I was so busy at work. Normally I review SmackDown, but I was so tired. I'm like, I'm just giving my rating on Twitter, but I don't even have the enough energy to record a review for this show tonight. So that's all people get from me. If I'm tired, if I'm tired, I like to do reviews, but if I'm tired, all you get is a review on the Twitter. That's it.
yeah, but like right now, I know AJ's busy. I think he's doing a move right now. I think.
Everybody's busy.
Yeah,
I don't know,
everyone.
I like tired. Like today, I did like almost a 9 hour day today. So
Oh, I couldn't do that today. Oh, dude, I barely made it to 8. Oh, I mean, actually, it did. Like, I tried to
I
go
did
in half
it was,
early.
I did 12. Actually, no, it was 9 hours. I'm just joking, but it's still long. I did like
Oh,
12 to 5:30 today. Still felt like a long day in my opinion.
we got Charles from Video Game XT. What's up, bro?
What's up, dude? How's it
Uh,
going?
I'm exhausted. You got
Yeah, I just got up from a nap, bro. I was sleeping all day, so I'm here.
yeah. I took a big nap myself. Luckily, after last week or so, I guess it was 2 weeks ago when the heat's been real bad and got me. That I think I got up from like a nap at like 9:30 or 10, and maybe it was 10:30. Everyone was wondering what the hell's going on. So that's the night we went 11 hours. But
Wow.
yeah, I'm definitely not. Uh, that's not in this future right now. I can tell you right now.
Well, I was trying to come on last week, but there was a storm near my area. There was like some tornado going on, and you said,
No, shit.
yeah.
I think last week we had storms too, but um, lately what we've been getting hit is with windstorms that are really bad. Like, what's crazy, like the shop I work at, it took down 3 or 4 of our garage doors down because the storm.
Holy shit.
So
Oh,
yeah, and it just recently just put new ones up. So I mean, some of the damage in this area looks like tornado damage, but it was like I remember that night because I lost power for like less than a minute here, and I heard. I was like, I didn't think much about it. Then, I think this was. Oh yeah, this is Father Day weekend.
Father's Day.
Yeah, Father. It was. I think it landed on weekend, so I get a call, like a text at like on Saturday or something, at 7 in the morning. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. I mean, I didn't say that. I got up at 11 or 12 that day, so
Well, last week it was literally like a half hour right before Friday's Raw was gonna start, and I'm like, dude, there's a tornado coming my way. I don't think I can make it tonight, bro. And you're like, I'm too tired from work anyways. So.
yeah, I'm barely here right now. Like,
Like I'm barely here, bro.
yeah, I'm barely here. Like, I didn't watch SmackDown. Like, no one really cares about Rampage. Rampage is like the new Dark.
Rampage blows.
It's stupid. It's not even enjoyable anymore.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I like that car match they did. Was it like that parking lot war match? That was cool.
I didn't see that, but a lot of times when, like, even when WWE does it, they do it badass. I kind of remember the first one they did in the AEW. And, like, don't do some, like, a pile driver onto the hood or something?
Yeah, they were bleeding with glass, and it was nuts. I thought that was on pay-per-view, and like, no, that was on TV. I'm like, that was on cable?
Well, what was crazy is, like, the Blood and Guts match where they bring out a bed of nails.
Oh.
I'm like, and they weren't just laying across it. They're like slamming people into the bed of nails. I'm like I wouldn't want to do that but it. You know the trick about the bed of nails is, right?
I mean,
do that?
Are you into deathmatch wrestling? Are you into like the deathmatch stuff?
Oh, I like that. I like that stuff. I mean, I don't get to watch it as much.
Because some
But
people don't like the deathmatch stuff. They just like hardcore. They don't. To them, it's a little too much. Like this is a little too much.
I enjoy it. But when I was seeing them slamming right onto a bed of nails, I was like, "Oh my god!" Or they have glass, like broken glass, in the ring. But that could probably that's glass like the sugar glass that breaks easily.
I
Doesn't hurt.
can't
But
believe that this is on cable. Like I can't believe they're broadcasting this, getting away with it in this era. Like it's kind of crazy.
oh yeah, this is the same same channel that would censor the shit out of WCW, where
No.
they have was it standard in practice where they would prevent them from doing a bunch of stuff, but oh, you can have all these types of death matches, even though I'm not complaining about it. But
I
and
just
then
can't believe
you have
this is on TBS and TNT. I'm like, I thought this was pay-per-view, some of these matches. They're like, no, that was on cable. I'm like, that's insane. How are they getting away with this?
hey, I just hope. I mean, I remember back in the day, WCW would give away their big matches just to pop a rating, and like they ran through a lot of their big matches that they could use for pay-per-view for years, but they used it for Nitro. So
You'll never see WWE do deathmatch on cable though. You'll never see WWE do this.
well, not on cable, but the biggest one I remember, it was Randy Orton versus Mick Foley in a hardcore match, and that was pretty crazy.
Wasn't that on pay-per-view though? I swear that was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was on pay-per-view.
Okay.
I think that was Backlash back in the day, like 20 years ago.
I remember that was he landed him on the thumbtacks, and Orton was like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was freaking out. He's like, he got it in his hands, and I bet that would hurt too. But
that match was great.
Before we move on, we got a few people in the chat. We got Fortnite Israel on the chat.
Fortnite.
Then we got Mikal.
Mikal, baby.
And then I acknowledged Tex, and now we got Crazy Blade.
Tex, my dude, Tex.
We got Adriel Crowley, and that's pretty much it. That's Texas talking trash about AEW. I'm gonna have to what? I didn't watch much.
Hey, I gotta read this shit.
About the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match, or death match, whatever they called it.
Let me ask you this: Have you guys played the video game? I heard the video game's fire.
Nope, I haven't.
No, I have not. I'm not into that. I mean, I might look into the reviews, but it looks good, maybe.
Apparently, it's on Game Pass. I have Game Pass, so I can play it tonight.
Oh, it's on Game Pass?
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard.
That'd be interesting if it's on Game Pass, especially that fast, unless it's a studio that Microsoft owns. And by the way, did Microsoft and Activision Blizzard mergers done?
I have no idea, honestly, about that.
I think they're getting close to be done.
Texas Chainsaw Killer. A killer game comes to Game Pass, so it says it's on Game Pass.
Huh. See, I feel like and I feel like that's the future for Xbox. I think they'll, after this console generation, I think they'll do there'll be their new version of Steam.
Dude,
That's what I think.
I'm not even a digital guy. I'm a physical collector, and I love Game Pass. I think Game Pass is really good because they have like really good titles on there. You can't play for that cheap anywhere else.
Oh shit! We got Tex. We'll bring in Tex.
X.
I am shocked he came by. Tex, what's up, bro?
You're lucky. I had to pause my movie for my other half to go shower and do her thing. So I'm not allowed to finish it without her. So I figured I'll talk to you assholes. So what's up?
What's up?
Oh,
What do y'all
nothing much.
Because
Just chit chatting.
you sound like you're like
I'm
3/4 of the way into the grave right now. You know that, right?
What, you are? Or me?
No, you. You sound like you're like 3/4 of the way into the grave. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I am tired, bro. Dude,
Oh yeah.
today it was just brutal. It was in like 100 degrees, and then I'm inside a trailer on my knees replacing
Yeah, you're
a
telling me
flooring.
it was.
And if I'm not right,
It
I
was
was gonna say
100.
if I was not right beside the fan,
Yeah.
if I,
No,
I wasn't right beside the fan, I'll be sweating immediately.
it was 112 at its hottest
Because,
point today. At 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 about
oh my
noon,
god,
my seriously, not. I was watching the news earlier. At one point today, in from Canada to America, the hottest point was right where I was, right down here. Like that's how hot it was down here. It was so hot. Like once you walked outside, you immediately start to sweat. Like even if you're doing nothing, just standing there, you just start to melt. I mean, it
oh
was
yeah,
bad. So, yeah.
that's why.
Where is Tex from? He's
Ever
from
since,
Texas.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm from the north part of Texas, over about an hour and a half from where the Cowboys play. I'm over in the northeast part of Texas over here. So,
Okay.
not too bad. Yeah. But, yeah. So, no, Casey, are you going to get are you getting the chainsaw game?
That's what I told him. I was like, you
if
getting it,
it
bro?
looks cool, then
Dude, from
if
what
it
I've seen,
looks cool,
like,
I'll
it
do
looks
it.
incredible. I mean, it's okay. Did you play the Friday the 13th video game?
Me, no.
I played it. That and the Evil Dead game too was good. I heard the Evil Dead.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard Evil Dead was pretty good. But no, this Texas Chainsaw game, it's actually pretty cheap. The whole game only costs like $39, so it wasn't like one of these super overpriced things or whatever. And it I don't know what Game Pass is, but if you have it, it's supposedly on there. So
Uh,
worth
we
looking
were
into.
talking about that. It was like that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I didn't.
it was only $39 because like if you bought it, it comes with a poster inside of the case, and like that's it. It doesn't have like the huge collector's deal for a couple $100 with extra nonsense. You know what I mean? So it's one of
I
those
wonder
kind of
how
things.
much that championship goes with that AEW gave Jeff Jarrett.
I don't know, but like whenever I saw that AEW was doing a Texas Chainsaw match, I was like, I already hate you people, and you want to try to ruin one of the things that I love dearly in life. I was like, why must you do this? Go ruin something else. And then once I saw that, well, first I had saw that Chainsaw was just using them to, promote the game or whatever. Literally, that was the whole thing. They paid like $100,000 to redecorate, do all the things, promote the name, and then all of that money was given to them people in Hawaii over there. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the
Oh,
victims
it
of the
was-
fire and whatever.
It was
So.
pretty corny. It was corny, and I gave me
Well,
WCW
yeah,
vibes.
but dude, it's wrestling. Who cares? It's none of it's real anyway. You know what I mean? I would
I
rather
love
be.
how
I would rather be entertained than anything else. I mean, and it was entertaining. I did go back and watch it, and whoever they got, I want to know who played Leatherface. That's what I want to know.
I have
wanna
no
know
idea.
which one is
He
more
wasn't
believable to happen. RoboCop from WCW or Leatherface?
Oh, God.
Hey,
Well, we talked about that whenever we reviewed RoboCop last Tuesday. That was one of the fun facts that we brought up. RoboCop coming into WCW, and you can't forget that Chucky also appeared in WCW as well.
I was gonna say that reminded me of Chucky, man.
Oh,
That's what I was
yeah.
gonna say.
wow.
Didn't WWE recently have zombies come in the ring?
Yes, they had. It was a zombie lumberjack match. So,
Okay.
and-
I saw that. I saw a picture of that on Twitter. I was like, I've seen this before, but I don't know when I saw this. Like, I didn't know what
It was
time
horrible.
frame it was.
Oh,
Didn't
man.
they do
Oh,
that
I don't
during
remember.
ECW on Sci-Fi? Didn't they do some stupid shit like that?
well,
that
the
was
first
something
match
else.
on their. Well, ECW, the WWE version, their first match was with the wrestler named the Zombie. And
Yeah.
not only
Oh, yeah.
before he started the match, he actually had a zombie promo where he just moaned for a few seconds on the microphone. Pretty much.
Oh, let's see.
And then he got squashed by the Sandman. I remember that.
If I ever start a wrestling company, it's gonna be nothing but hot women and horror movie monsters. That's the only thing that I'm hiring. Like, that's gonna be my wrestling company. It's gonna be fun. So,
So
it is what it is.
Casey, are you into horror movies or?
No,
No, not
he's kind
really.
of scared. He's kind of a scaredy cat over there.
No, I'm just not a fan of it. I'm like, dude, I was watching Terrifier. I wasn't even really scared about that at all.
I
I
love
mean,
Terrifier.
maybe.
That movie.
Well, hold on. Which Terrifier was it? Was it Terrifier 3?
No, Terrifier 3 hasn't been made yet. They've only made one.
Oh, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it was just the first one then that AJ had me watch.
Terrifier. Well,
I like Terrifier.
they're pretty easy to tell the difference of. Terrifier 1, he cuts a naked woman in half with a handsaw. And in Terrifier 2, he sets people on fire, pretty much dismantles a woman while she's still alive and puts salt and bleach in her wounds. That was just beauty. I loved it. But Terrifiers are a fantastic franchise. I love it.
Like he'll kill you in the most brutal
I
way
think
possible.
Oh yeah.
I think it was the first one, and then I was watching Hell. I think what it was Hellraiser 3, and I was in the middle.
Yeah,
of it.
he sent. Well, I had sent AJ. I sent him like 4 or 5 fan films and a couple of like other regular films because like at one point y'all were going to do like a segment with spooky movies or whatever, and you know how those things go. But you watch Terrifier because that I came on that night later on after you had watched something. I remember something about that, not all the details. I can't remember. I often forget.
And I'm fine. And it was fun during it. I mean, and And I didn't even think I turned the lights off and anything, but you guys did bring up a good point. I mean, when I'm like talking to you guys and then look
Well,
down
yeah.
at the laptop and watching it.
Well, and to be fair,
So
Terrifier is more one of those movies that, oh my god, I can't believe they let them put this on film. It's not really scary; it's more shocking.
It's more
Does that
gore.
make any sense? Yeah, like I mean, if you want scary, there's other films I could have, send to you or whatever. But like Terrifier was one of those films that it was just like I can't believe this was ever made, which is most of my favorite movies. That is said about them, you know. So it is what it is.
yeah, I think that's perfect, like you said it, because like I wasn't scared, but there were some like gruesome scenes. But I'm like, I could handle gruesome scenes. It's like
Right.
jump scares that could get me, but uh,
He's like the best clown we had in forever, though. He's the best killer clown we've had in years. You know?
It's either
yeah,
him or it's Captain Spaulding. I love Captain Spaulding. Captain Spaulding is he's one of those Mount Rushmore horror characters for me. I adore that man. Sid Haig. I was so sad when he died. I loved his portrayal of Captain Spaulding in the Firefly family movies. Big fan of his.
What
well,
about Killjoy was cool too. You ever see Killjoy?
I have, but I don't think I've seen it twice. I can't remember. I've seen that.
There's like fucking 3 of them. There's like 3 or 4
That came
Killjoys.
out. That was that an early 2000s?
It was like I think early 2000, late 90s era.
Yeah, dude. I've seen so many horror films. I mean, it's like 90 point. Like I pretty much watch horror films and sports. It's about all I watch anymore. But it is what it is. So yeah, it's all good.
right now I'm watching a gameplay on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It doesn't
I'm playing.
look bad,
Dude,
but I
I'm playing
think-
that tonight.
Over on Slash and Cast, it's another YouTube channel that they pretty much cover Friday the 13th. That's pretty much their main topic. They started playing the game at 9 a.m. this morning when it dropped. They are still live right now on a simultaneous stream. They have not stopped playing since this morning. They've been going for over 12 hours now. I've got it saved on my YouTube, and I cannot. And like I'm saving it for tomorrow because I want to watch the entire thing. Like I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, not having a system, I can't actually play it myself, unfortunately. But
Now,
What?
can you play as Leatherface though?
I'm having-
Can you?
You're having what?
So can you play as Leatherface? Can you actually play as him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can play as Leatherface, the cook, Chop Top. They actually created 2 more Sawyers, so there's 2 more bad guys you can play as, or you can play as victims or possible survivors. So it's just like the Friday games. But yeah, you can. I believe my buddy Jeremy that I do podcasts with. He has the game. I believe it's a cross-platform, whatever that means. I'm not really sure. So there's that. But yeah, no, you can play as Leatherface, the cook, all of them. But no, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, especially with this. This is the 50th anniversary of the film. I mean, obviously if you know the original film, the events happened on August 18th of 1973, and it's just in the horror world. This is like one of those. This is like Christmas for us.
So let me ask you this: do they ignore like the Next Generation, like those films? Do they ignore that in the game?
most people, well, this game, from everything that I've seen, they only have rights to the original film. So if they may do DLC content later on, if it's popular, they might give you some skins from two. I hope they don't do Next Generation because that I hate that movie with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. What they, I don't know what Kim Hinkle did to he just ruined the movie. He turned Leatherface into this like crying, whiny woman. It was just weird. Like I don't. That is one of those. That movie is on the same list as Ghostbusters 2016. I pretend that it doesn't exist.
Oh,
that's kind of how that one works.
That movie made me laugh. Next Generation made me laugh though. It was so horrible. Like it makes me laugh. It's so
the
bad.
Same. I've watched a lot, dude. I watched a lot of bad movies in my life. I love B movies. I love a good bad scary film. But that scene where Renee Zellweger straight up tells Leatherface to sit down and shut up, and he does, I turned the movie off. I was done. I'm like, you just took.
Yeah, that was stupid.
You just took one of the most ferocious bad guys ever, and you just chopped his balls off on screen. Here's what you just did. You just ruined everything. And then that whole like Illuminati, New World Order, inspiring fear thing that Kim Hinkle was going on in that movie. Like, I don't know why he did what he did, but that movie made me hate Kim Hinkle. And he's one half of the people that created Texas Chainsaw. But, you know, it's just, it's a horrible movie. I got the entire series of Chainsaw movies, and I threw that one away. Like I'm like, no, I won't even own this movie. It won't stay in my house. I mean, it's like, you know, it's worse than porn. You know, it's one of those kind of things. But yeah, what you gonna do? But hey, I need to hop off of here, and I'm gonna go back to my movie. I just want to pop off for a minute and see what y'all were doing. So
Peace.
Y'all have fun. Where's the freaking button? I hate this phone.
So Casey, you got the NWO shirt, right? You got the NWO on? I got Evolution. I can't hear you, dude. Hello?
Casey, you're muted. Your mic is off.
Can't hear you, bro. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
now we can.
StreamYards is acting weird. Like, I switched to Wi-Fi because usually I run on data, but I don't know. But because text was glitching out on me, and when I switched to Wi-Fi, it seemed fine. But yeah, I got the NWO shirt. This is the one I picked up in Dallas when last year's 2022 WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm repping the Evolution tonight.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty
Evolution,
bad.
baby. Evolution, baby.
But the original one I ever had was the Wolfpack shirt, NWO shirt, but I don't even know where that shirt is. It's probably long gone. It's probably...
See, growing up, Wolfpack was my favorite. People give Wolfpack shit. I liked Wolfpack.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially when, the black and white became, after a while, it became the B Squad, because it was. Eventually,
Think about it, though. Wolfpack had Macho Man, Conan, Sting, Nash. Scott Steiner eventually joined. It had Buff Bagwell. I just thought they were kind of cooler.
yeah, I agree. And Nash thought he was like either into rap or he thinks he was a gangster or something.
Yeah, he's like,
I could see Scott Hall pulling it off a lot more, but Nash, I was like, it looked awkward. Well, nowadays it look awkward, but back then it was fine.
to me, the only guy they were missing that should have been in there was Scott Hall. It's like, why isn't Scott Hall in Wolfpack? I thought he should have been in there.
That's right, he wasn't he?
No.
I think like later on when they merged, he came in there, but like in the beginning, he wasn't.
It was, when it became the NW Elite.
Yeah, I hated Elite. Elite was trash.
But oh gosh, those WCW days, man. I love watching WCW back. Well, what was crazy? I don't know what's for anyone, but the cable I had, both Raw and Nitro was on, like, they were on separate channels, obviously, but they were one. And if you click to the other one, it was the next channel. That's what I was trying to say. It was the very next channel. So you can just go to the cable box and go click back and forth. When Raw's on commercial, you go click it and go to Nitro. And I remember doing that stuff. But here's the kicker. I told this story a few times. But my parents had this wireless cable where what it is this long ass pole with a satellite dish on the very end. And what's weird, we would get like some stuff for free. We would get oh god, this shouldn't moment
He's like, oh, nah.
I'm trying to pronounce this name. Like, I'm exhausted. But Chalmaya?
Jeremiah?
Chalmaya?
Jeremiah?
Jeremiah?
That's our boy.
But, oh gosh. I'm tired.
We got a buddy called Jeremiah on our channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But, so we would get, like, boxing matches for free, pay-per-views. So, and it'd be like a Mike Tyson boxing match. And this is when he was still knocking people out, in the first two rounds or so. And I would tell my dad, I'd be like, well, I'm glad we didn't have to pay for this. And then we would get WCW pay-per-views for free. But
you're lucky. I was too poor to afford that growing up.
Well, I mean, we were getting it for free because I guess we were leeching onto a signal or something. But we would never get a WWF pay-per-view for free.
See, as a kid, though, when they merged Wolfpack and Black and White, that killed NWO to me. I was so upset as a kid when that happened. I'm like, no, why is Hogan with Wolfpack? I hated that. I fucking hated that. And I'm like, so what? Now they're all friends. Now it's like I completely gave up with WCW after that.
Yeah, when they merged, that was the very end.
Stupid.
Because I was a big Wolfpack guy, and like I took it serious as a kid, and then once they were all friends, I'm like, this is stupid. Even as a kid, I'm like, this is stupid.
Well, by that time, I mean, it was heading to be the end anyways. I mean, yeah, they brought it back in 99 to call the NWO WCW.
Yeah, then eventually Chris Benoit left, Jericho left, Big Show left, Giant at the time, and I'm like, man, all my favorites are going to WWF.
Yeah.
So that's why I got more into WWF, because all of my favorites were like jumping over. I'm like, well, I might as well watch WWF.
Holy shit. On.
I think it was around the time Jericho left. I was like really getting more into WWF.
Oh, sorry. I was reading something. I was hearing there was some stuff going on in the chat. I didn't really see anything bad in the chat. I know some people would poke fun, but I think they're cool. So, sorry about that. But I was more a WWF. I was more a WWF guy. EJ, it's okay. I don't see anything wrong with it, so don't worry about it. But
To me, it's like to me they were both great. Looking back, retrospect, I love them both. But as a kid, I was like really upset with what WCW was doing at times. I'm like, man, I was getting mad, and like all my favorites were jumping over. I'm like, man, WCW's like losing everybody.
yeah, I was. Well, they were getting all the WWF guys at that time frame, so um,
Well, once they started jumping ship, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Why is everyone leaving? Like something's wrong here. As a kid, I'm like, this is strange.
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted. There's some stuff going on in the chat. I didn't even realize there. What's weird, in the chat on Yard Stream, I'm not seeing everything that's in YouTube. That's what's weird, because some of this stuff I'm not even seeing this. But
I don't know. I'm not looking at the chat.
I just got distracted, and like right now, after the day I had, my brain's fried right now, so I can easily be like, "Ooh, what's that?" So like, this is definitely not going to be a long episode because I am tired. But yeah, WCW was doing a lot of crazy shit at the very end. But I mean,
To me, Nitro was the best during like '96 to like '98. Those were the best Nitro days.
I would totally agree.
Yeah, those years were.
And then during like 1999, that's when I was like, dude, what are they doing?
Well, they were going downhill, and a lot of times people will shit on Russo saying he was the start cause of it. Like, well, they were going downhill before him. That's why Bischoff was sent home. And it was just strangely enough when Bischoff was sent home.
Oh, I was done way before Russo. Once that whole NWO Elite and then later on the NWO Platinum, I hated that too. I'm like, this is
Platinum.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember NWO Platinum with Jeff Jarrett? Well, I don't know if they called it Platinum.
2000.
Yeah, I'm saying later on when they freaking added Jeff Jarrett and like Steiner. I hated that too. I remember tuning in WCW. Like, what the hell? Now Jeff Jarrett's in NWO? I'm like, this is why I started watching WWF.
Oh, dude, I was a late bloomer for WWF. TSS says he thinks it was called the NWO 2000 or NWO Silver. I think I agree with TSS on that. I think they did call them NWO Silver.
I think the fans just call it whatever they want it because there wasn't like an official name for it, whether it's Platinum or Silver. Or, I call it the Jeff Jarrett NWO.
And it was pretty bad. They were saying that when Bret Hart got injured, that pretty much put it really hurt that angle.
And then they added Bret Hart too, and said the band is back together. I'm like, since when is Bret Hart an NWO member?
Actually, when he first came in, he was a consultant for the original NWO. he wasn't a full-fledged member, but he was helping him out, kind of, and then he turned face. But I think he should have been part of the original. Well, not honestly, not part of like the original three, but before NWO blew like grew to as big as it is, it should have been like Bret Hart should have been like the fifth member or something.
I mean,
And
maybe looking back now, it's not that bad. But as a kid, as like a 10-year-old, and I seen it on like magazines, I thought it was stupid.
well, it's kind of like nowadays. If you go rewatch a movie that you swore it sucked, and then you go watch it, and it's like it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Or like I've seen the exact opposite where I used to love Con Air, and now I watched it most recently. I was like, it's not as good as I remember, and it's okay.
Some movies and stuff like video games haven't aged very well. Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I remember as a kid this was awesome. Now I'm like, this is embarrassing.
Well, I mean, early '90s wrestling. Oh my god, like that was garbage.
Not even just wrestling, like the Pokemon movies, and I know I might piss off Pokemon fans, but
Oh god.
I rewatched the Pokemon films. Cringe, very cringe.
Oh.
I'm like, how did I like this as a kid? This is like horrible.
I don't know. That is weird because I go back and rewatch cartoons that I thought I really liked when I was younger. And actually, recently because Pee Wee Herman died, I went to watch the first couple episodes of The Playhouse. And it is weird as hell. And even the cartoons they did was not really that good quality. So maybe just because it was cartoons, and it was like it was good to watch. But
I remember the Pokemon video games though, like on Game Boy, Red and Blue.
Yeah.
Those were great. The games were great.
Those were good games. I love playing those.
I never got into Pokemon. I was not saying anything bad about that. If that's what people are into, right? I'm into Pikmin, and I'm not gonna shit on what people like.
What about
So-
Yu-Gi-Oh? Were you a Yu-Gi-Oh guy?
No, I was never into stuff like that. My late wife, she was a Magic card player, and so was her older brother. So I'm like kind of see them on the floor playing Magic. I'm like, I would tease them a little bit. It's like, what are you guys doing down there? But then I find out like Magic cards are actually worth money. And it's like, I'm like, wow. I mean, I know Pokemon cards are worth quite a bit if you have certain cards, but that's why they like the rares and the foils and stuff like that.
Well, I used to be a big Pokemon card collector too. I was addicted as a kid.
Did you keep any of them?
Oh, I used to. I had them for years, and then eventually, like years down the road, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of over it, so I got rid of them. Unfortunately,
It happens. I mean,
I think I sold it on Craigslist to some kid. I was like, here for like $50 or something. I don't know.
that kid probably turned around and made it like quite a bit of money off you, probably.
Probably.
But I'm like, there's some stuff like my brother. He's a big time baseball card fan, Like when we were growing up, that's all we cared was about baseball cards, and um, he's still into it. Like when he came back down here when my mom passed, or she was going through her health issues, that we went to a local sports cards place that also sell merchandise and stuff like that. And he was geeking out on stuff. I'm like, dude, this is like video games for you. Like, like you're acting like gushing over stuff that, like, I can see why it's cool, but like this is your hobby, as video games is my deal.
To me, video games have like aged the best. Like video games will
Oh
never
yeah.
get old to me. Like there's something about gaming that's just cooler to me. Like it just never dies.
Well, they considered it art. I mean, a lot of the box cover is art if you really think about it.
Like
I mean,
we can always go back and play the classics. We can always go back and replay these games and collect them, and I don't know. I
Mhm.
just think games are cooler.
well, sadly nowadays with the digital era, I mean, even with starting with the PS4, like, yeah, we had the physical disc, but if the servers go down, you only have the so much information on that disc that you're gonna have the GIMP version if you don't have the patches.
Well, when it comes to modern gaming, yeah, modern gaming is a problem with the whole physical stuff.
Yeah.
But the retro stuff, everybody's doing frickin' emulation now because game preservation is like in trouble right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it still happens today if we really think about it. Like games like, do you remember a game that was a demo for the PS4? Was it PT? It was a playable teaser for Silent Hills.
No,
The
I don't
game.
remember that.
Oh, you gotta look up PT gameplay.
Was it
It,
PS4? Because I was an Xbox
yes,
guy during that time.
it was on the PS4. But
That's
look up,
probably why.
put PT gameplay, and like even watch like the Game Grumps do it. Uh, it was actually a really scary kind of game because I'll
Oh,
just
the
explain.
it was a Silent Hill game, right?
Well, yeah, well, it was a tease. It was a playable teaser for Silent Hills, but it wasn't. Like I don't know how much of this teaser game was going to be in the game, but what it is you literally going through this loop. You're in like inside this house, and every time you loop around, something it gets stranger and stranger. Like,
I heard Silent Hill's coming back. I heard they're remaking it.
oh, Silent Hill games are still being made, but the one that got canceled was called Silent Hills with an S.
I haven't seen Silent Hill in forever. Like, what system?
Well, this one was for the PS4.
Because I know they did like Downpour and all those, but
I was
that was
never I was never into Silent Hill games and shit like that. But when
dude.
I wa-
Have you played Silent Hill 2? That game's creepy.
nah, I'm more of a Nintendo guy playing uh retro stuff. The more modern games I play, oh gosh, is more action packed. Like I'll play the God of War games. I'll play was it Horizon Zero Dawn and the sequel. even though I hadn't. I got the sequel, but I hadn't played it yet.
Growing up, I was a big PS1 guy. I loved the PS1 and the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Those were like my main three systems.
Well, this might sound dumb, but I picked up the N64 when I was younger, but I thought that I guess it really is kind of true, but the PlayStation 1 was more adult target.
The PS1 was just more advanced. You could see like cinematic videos on it, and you could like actually put the CD in there, listen to CDs. I just thought it was cooler as a kid. I'm like, this is way better than N64.
Oh yeah, you had like full video you can watch. Actually, what I heard, you ever heard of VCDs?
VCDs.
It's a CDs, but they're videos. They call it video compact disc. It was the predecessor to the DVDs.
I've heard of Laserdisc. I don't know about VCD.
VCDs are. It just never got. It was more famous for outside the country. We barely had any here, but it very horrible quality on the footage. So, but what I heard is that the PlayStation 1 could play it. That's what I think I heard. I know for the Saturn, you had to have a special cartridge to put into the Saturn to do that. Oh, see, Dave Rose says VCDs are still huge in Asia. Well, yeah, in Asia.
I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, growing up, the PS1 version of the game was always better. Most of the time, the PS1 version always was better. Like, if you played Tony Hawk, dude, Tony Hawk and PS1 kills the N64 versions.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because you're going to have more... You're going to have the CD cable music, and you're going to have the cut scenes. Well,
yeah, like the N64 version, like they cut out half the music. It would like loop over and over, and there was like no bail videos. Like in the PS1 version, you can unlock bail videos, which is them wiping out, and none of that was on N64. And I'm like, man, I'm glad I grew up with the PS1 version.
Well, I mean, the PS1, I mean, I believe you can put like 600 megabytes onto a disc, while, God, I think 64 megabytes on a N64 card, but I'm not exactly sure. But I know
first-person shooters were a lot better on N64, I'll tell you that. First-person shooters sucked on PS1.
When I was playing on N64, I was mainly playing games like the wrestling games. That's when I got into wrestling. That was one of the biggest things I can really remember playing. That, and I was not... I know people are going to shit on me for this saying this. I was not a big fan of GoldenEye.
What?
What about Perfect Dark?
Never really played Perfect Dark.
What?
PC, what's wrong with you?
I mean, I'm not gonna play everything in the world.
Dude, I used to play that game till 3 a.m. every night, Perfect Dark, man.
But I do actually have it now. I have it in the box. So I just never had a chance to sit down and play it.
Well, play the original. Zero was trash. That's
why I heard the sequel was horrible.
But they got it on Rare Replay on Xbox, so you can download it pretty cheap now in HD.
Oh yeah, I do have that on my Xbox One. There's Rare Replay. That was really good.
GoldenEye is one of those games. If you grew up with it, you understand how awesome it was. If you didn't grow up with it and you play it now, you're gonna probably have a bad time.
The reason I don't like it is because the controls. The controls, I did not like it at that time. I love playing the Bond games after GoldenEye. Like when I think it was Nightfire, I was playing it on the original Xbox. Love playing that.
Nightfire is great.
Mm-hmm. I prefer Nightfire because I love playing this with my dad because there'll be multiplayer and there'll be one of my favorite stages is like the two castles on each side of the map, and we would have the rocket launchers that you can guide. So I can be in my castle tucked under a staircase, and then I would guide the rocket to go out from the staircase through the doorway and look for him with the missile, and usually pretty get him good.
Those are the two games I recommend. Like if people haven't played GoldenEye, I'm like, well, play Nightfire or Everything or Nothing. Those are two of the best next to those.
I agree. Because I prefer the later ones, but like definitely Nightfire is probably one of my favorite ones.
To me, Nightfire is like the second best. Like it's still just as good as GoldenEye, if not better.
Maybe it's because I didn't like the controls. I mean,
well, by the time Nightfire came out, you had the dual analog sticks. It was a lot easier, you know.
Yeah, because I didn't like how like it wasn't as easy to move the camera around. That when something like that could break the gameplay for me when I was a kid. Like shit, like when I was playing recently, God, was it Super Mario Deluxe? They took Super Mario Bros. And squished it down to like a small square, and you can only and zoomed in, and if you happen to hit B and press up, the camera would go up, and you wouldn't see the flooring. So it was like,
my God,
stuff like that could hurt the gameplay for me.
What about Turok? You ever get into Turok?
I play Turok. I'm not a big fan of it.
No, you're just not into first person, sounds like.
No, I'm in the first person. I mean, I'm more of a
more modern.
Yes, I would say I'm definitely not more modern though either. I like Doom, the original Doom.
Yes.
Wolfenstein 3D. God, trying to think of.
Come on, you gotta say it. You gotta say it, bro. Quake.
Definitely. Quake 1 and 2 are great. And then
did you play the new remaster? That shit is sweet.
No, I did not.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good.
But and I love playing Doom 2, and was it Final or Ultimate Doom? And maybe you had both.
You know, the only Doom I didn't like was Doom 3. I couldn't get into Doom 3.
No, I agree. Even Doom 64 version, or Doom 64, that was good, but it was way too dark to see what's going on.
Yeah, remember you kept having to pull out the flashlight, and like on the original Xbox when that first came out, you like there was no like option to always hold the flashlight. It was I'm like, and then they were trying to make it like a horror game, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they totally took it a different way. And then Doom kind of disappeared for a while until Doom 2016 came back, and
revived it and actually
Yeah,
did it
revived it, and
better.
it was very, very good. And I need to try Doom. Was it Internal? I need to try that one.
I know limited run games, they're having a release of Quake 2 you can buy. I'm about to buy that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I want a physical.
For what? Which system?
Switch, Xbox, PS4. They even have like a big box version that looks like PC for
Oh,
like $80, but
oh God.
yeah.
To me, I'm too cheap for that. Like,
I'm cheap. I'm really cheap too, but like I don't know. I really like Quake, so like I kind of want it.
the only big box thing I ever bought was, oh God, was it Sonic Mania, where they had this giant ass box and it has the statue of Sonic on top of the Sega Genesis and a couple other things, but they did not have a physical game in there. They give you all these knickknacks and then you get a card for your digital download. Like, what the fuck? Give me a copy of the game.
I hate that.
Yeah.
The whole point of the physical is I bought it physical. I want a disc or a cartridge.
Yeah. I mean, what's sad nowadays, you go into, like, the parents nowadays, if they don't know what they're looking for, let's say they go in, they're like, oh, I heard this Fortnite's really good. So, a really good game. And I see it at Walmart in a cart case. That means, oh, there must be a game in there. And then they take it home and it's empty, except with a piece of paper.
To me, that's the biggest slap in the nuts.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
biggest slap in the fucking nuts as a collector. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Oh, yeah. All you're paying is for plastic there.
Stupid.
Yeah. I'm like, and they still continue to do it. Fortnite is the biggest one that's guilty of it because they'll do these packs and they'll sell it as physical and there's nothing in there.
See, to me, I was an Unreal Tournament guy. Like, I was not into Fortnite. I was an Unreal guy.
I
Epic Games did. Some people forget, like, oh, because everybody's so into Fortnite now. I'm like, what about Unreal Tournament? That shit was sweet.
Yeah, it was good. I just got addicted to Fortnite for a couple years, and
Unreal was the same. Unreal was really addicting too, though. At the time when Unreal 04 came out on PC, people were addicted to that game. Quake,
mm,
all those. But I get it. They're making money off Fortnite. I get it. I can't get into it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it's third person. I don't know.
I honestly I kind of like the third person view than me going around in first person view because I could see what my character is doing. But the one thing I do not like, I buy a skin and you're not able to turn around and see the front view of your skin. All you do is see the back of your skin, unless you're on the loading screen. I'm like, okay. Like, at least give me a chance to look at the skin from the front view. I'm like, how stupid is that? Like, and they're not cheap though, too. I think they're damn near like $10 to $15 a skin.
I don't know. Like Fortnite reminds me of something like it's just you play it in the time it's out, and then years later it's just gonna disappear. There's no like physical copies, and there's no preservation of it, and
Oh no.
it's just
Definitely
kind of
not.
it's more of an online thing, and it's just like I can't get into it. Like I want to like have it physical, and I don't know.
I think the reason is because it's free
Yeah.
and the skins are pretty cool. You get some pretty cool skins, Like
Can
everyone.
can you imagine though in the future, like say the online servers are dead and you want to go back and play it and like it's not updated? It would be so shitty.
Oh yeah. Oh God. But nowadays fans will make their own servers for games like this to continue able to play it. Because I mean, back to the original Xbox system, there's certain games you can't play because servers are down. But because fans made their own servers, you're able to play some of these games again. But
Let me ask you this: Are you a Halo guy? Because I like Halo.
I like Halo.
Wait.
I finished 3 and 4. I didn't get into much in 5.
Now,
And
were
I
you more in the story or multiplayer?
in the story.
Okay.
Like
I beat 1 and 2 for the story, but like after 3 came out, I stick to multiplayer.
it's funny you said you finished those two because I finished 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I really like Halo. Uh, I heard Halo Infinite was not that good.
See, I disagree. I really liked Infinite. Like it reminded me of like Halo 1 and 2 on crack, if that makes any sense. Like it felt
Mhm.
like kind of like a mix between Halo 1 and 2, but faster. And some of the maps reminded me of like Halo 2. I'm like, man, like this I actually really enjoyed Infinite, at least the multiplayer.
Well, I mean, just because someone says they don't like it, doesn't mean it's the gospel. I mean, if you enjoy it, that's all that really matters.
I haven't got
Like,
the post. I got the poster back there. I don't know if you can see it.
I can zoom, or I can bring you up full
I have a
screen.
Halo Infinite up there. I liked it so much. I'm like, that game was fun.
I can kind of see it.
I got that at Five Below. It's only a $5 poster, and I framed
Not,
it.
what's that Mortal Kombat one? I'm trying to see what that is.
That one?
Oh, is that an arcade one up right there?
Yeah, that's an arcade one up, but the thing behind it, that's a banner. I got that off eBay.
Oh,
It's like a flag.
that's pretty badass.
Yeah, and I put it behind the arcade machine that matches it.
Yeah, that's probably why I thought it was a poster. And then I saw the control sticks on it. It's like, is that a arcade one up?
Yep.
The only
It's
thing I would suggest people, uh, say I like my arcade one up, and would suggest this to other people to get it modded
yeah.
because um if you only have like 2 or 3 games, I mean, well, that could get boring real quick. Like, I have the Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition machine. So I have Champion Edition Street Fighter 2. Then I got Super Street Fighter 2. And then I have Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Like, how many versions do I really need to play Street Fighter 2? Like, at least give me like Street Fighter 1 and then another option, not 3 versions of Street Fighter 2. Like, see, like this one has been modded. It has over 800 arcade games on this one. Not all of them work perfectly, though.
You there?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it was me. I think you broke up.
I said nowadays you can put Raspberry Pis in them and have like a bunch of stuff on it.
Oh yeah, the one I got has RetroPie on it.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's great. I love it. I mean, not every game works great, but I mean, you got the most popular games like you got X-Men, Turtles, Simpsons, and a bunch of other ones. Sunset Riders.
Sounds like you got MAME on it. MAME
It pretty much is. I mean,
or retro arc.
it says RetroPie. I think it is RetroArch though, but it has Neo Geo games on there, so that's pretty badass. I think.
Nowadays you can just buy Raspberry Pis and all these like Super Console X systems with like every game ever made on it and all this crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, you don't. You don't even need to build anything. You could just go on to like Prime and Amazon Prime and get.
Yeah, that's freaking insane. Amazon and Walmart sells this stuff and it's considered piracy and illegal and they're selling it. Like what?
Yeah, it's wild. Well, I mean, I think what's weird, I think what it is sellers that use their websites. I mean, I know Amazon does that.
Yeah, they go off like third parties, but they still allow them to. They're still allowing them to sell all this crap, and it's like considered piracy, even though everybody's buying it.
You know, the thing is, it is piracy, but like, this is how I feel.
It's game preservation. It's preservation.
Exactly. Like, the people who make these games are not making money off these games anymore, unless they're selling them digitally. Okay.
Yeah, for a subscription service. That's a ripoff.
So, like, but a lot of these games you can't play anywhere, so I don't see the problem.
I heard they're trying to change the law. Like a lot of gamers are like making it like known that these copyright laws are outdated and something needs to happen.
I agree. See, this is how I feel about piracy. Like, if I feel like the company can't make money off the product no more, then I think it's free reign.
Because it's like all these IPs are expired. Like, how am I going to play NHL 95 on Genesis in a new form? Like, I can't. It's not been re-released.
Exactly. So, like, I feel like if it's anything that's like Wii U right now, like how their eShop is down. So I feel like if you want to jailbreak your Wii U and put a bunch of ROMs on that, I don't see the problem there because it's a dead system now.
But, yeah, and the game companies don't want you to mod the system, even though you just bought it. It's like, you know, I just paid $300 for this thing. If I want to do what I want to it, I should be allowed to do it.
Oh, you're allowed to do it. They reserve the right to, I guess,
void your warranty and ban you from the online service.
Exactly. But then you kind of almost don't really need them unless you want to get the new game, or if you're going to play online. But I'm sure some people can find their ways around that though too.
Well, some people just like having it all on one little device. It's easier, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it is. I agree.
Not everybody has all the room for a big collection like this. Not everybody's got the room.
No, definitely not. And I mean, to me, I don't think anything wrong with it. If someone wants to get a little Raspberry Pi that has like thousands of games, I don't see what's the problem.
I mean, the distributors can get in big trouble, like Gary Bowser. The people who created it can get in trouble. But the people buying it off Amazon, there is no law that says I can't buy something off Amazon. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
TSS says it's crazy you said that, Casey, because I see a video about this, and literally Amazon right now you can buy a 2 terabyte SDD hard drive that has thousands of games, but it also has new Switch and PC games. See,
yep.
then I feel right there that's crossing the line. Like, because there's those companies are still making money off them.
Yeah, when it comes to the new stuff, I agree. It's like just buy the new stuff on the market, but like as far as the old stuff goes, like yeah.
It, I, this is how I feel like games like burning games onto a CD to play on a original hardware, like playing on the Sega CD or Dreamcast. Like, well, they're not making those games no more. They're not
No.
making money off them. So once again, where's the problem?
Yeah, and in the long run, those consoles, the disk drives are eventually going to die, or the
Yeah,
disk rot, and the cartridges will eventually deteriorate.
yeah.
So it's like, how are we supposed to preserve and play these classics, you know, in the future if I want to show my kids these games, or you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Oh, I agree. I mean, what's wild lately, I've been seeing people taking their Neo Geo CDs and removing, maybe not removing the CD drive, but they'll add a SD card slot,
oh,
and
I
it would
love
have.
SD card slots for life. I love SD cards.
But I'm like, see, here's the kicker though. The Neo Geo CD is a very rare system. I think I only seen one in person, maybe once.
I've seen one out here at my Disc Replay, our
Yeah.
local game store, and it was like $300-$400 or something.
Good God.
I wanted it really bad, but I'm like, I can't afford that.
Yeah, like strangely, at one point in my local area, we had two Neo Geo AES out here, and I bought the cheaper one, and I think it was like around 300 something. But I was
Was
like,
it was it the Neo Geo CD or the other one, the cartridge?
no, this is the cartridge version.
Okay.
And I buy it from this toy store, and here's the douchebag move he would. I seen this guy. I even asked one of these people before I bought it, like weeks or so ago, before I pulled the trigger on it. I was like, "Hey, does it come with that game?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it does." So I go buy the system, and he's getting all the stuff, and he's reaching down to get to the game, and then I saw him retract his hand. Like I was like, he thought about it. He's like, I guarantee he's like, I can probably make him buy this game. It was like, oh, you're an asshole, and like he was
That would
correct.
that would piss me off.
Oh, I was happy, but I was like, I mean, well, these Neo Geo games aren't cheap, so
Let me ask you this. I don't know much about Neo Geo. Like I know what it is, but I didn't ever own one growing up. What is the difference and what is better than the Neo Geo CD and the cartridge? Like which
oh,
one's better?
the cartridge is 100% the best way to go. The
Okay.
only because CDs has the horrible loading screens, but the cartridge games are super expensive, while the CDs were cheaper at that time. And
See,
it's
I was thinking the CD would have been better. It sounds like it would be more advanced than a cartridge,
oh
but
no, what I heard, even though it came out like 2-3 years later after the cartridge came out, but it was almost the same system just with a CD drive, so they
Oh,
so they can have a way to make it cheaper for the consumer. But you it was horrible. The loading screens took forever, like well over a minute.
see, to me, that sounds like a system I'd rather just, if I have the option, like I don't blame people if they want to emulate Neo Geo because it sounds like really like pain in the ass or expensive.
Well, I mean, for me, I only got the cheaper way to go is if you get the Neo Geo with the cartridge version, you get the adapter, you can play an actual arcade board off of it.
Okay.
And I got a bunch of actual arcade boards. Like this one right here, I'll bring myself up. See, actually, this is kind of a lot more than I was gonna. Like, I bought some of them for like $10. This one I paid 140, but it was also I probably put trades in though too.
Is that
But
Metal Slug? Metal Slug?
yeah, Metal Slug
Oh,
3.
I love Metal Slug.
Yeah, I got several Metal Slugs, but uh, this is an actual arcade board right here. Where
I like Metal Slug better than Contra. I think Metal Slug's funner.
yeah, you know what? I mean, I do love Contra, but Metal Slug is really good game. But right here is the Neo Geo cartridge right there. This is what.
Wow.
So,
That's a beast.
oh, it is a beast. It's as long as a VHS tape and a little bit wider as a VHS tape. But you can't actually play this on your system without the adapter because you can see one board's longer than the other. You have to have an adapter.
Now, wasn't this system like $700 when it released back in the 90s?
Oh, it was up there.
No wonder it didn't survive. Like, nobody can afford that.
Oh no, you had to be rich to have this shit.
I'm rich, bitch!
But with the arcade boards, it was actually cheaper to go that route because there's more of those boards out there than the actual game cartridges.
Okay.
Uh,
I heard
the
Sega CD is a nightmare too to find that in working condition.
the Model 1 is. The Model 2 is more reliable. But
I heard Sega CD. Most people emulate that because they don't want to try to find the games, and the disc drives
really,
are terrible. Yeah, the disc drives I heard Sega CD are crap.
I have a Model 2. I did have a little problem with it. And I think the real reason is that my late wife, she bought some Sega CD games from a garage sale and had fire damage on it. And I thinking it might have had smoke on those CDs, but for a while it wasn't working properly, and I think that's where it was. But right now it's working fine. Every once in a while I'll clean the laser, but I mean I had this one for like well over 10 years and never had a big problem with it.
I've never owned a Sega CD. In fact, I haven't really played it up until the Sega Genesis Mini 2 came out.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford it growing up, and I didn't know anyone who had a Sega CD.
Oh, I couldn't afford that either until being an adult. And like, some of the bigger systems that I got, the more rare ones, I couldn't get until later in life. Like I had more of the known ones like Nintendo,
Yeah.
the Segas, more like that.
To
Like
me, like the Sega CD was interesting, but to me the Saturn is way better.
you know, when after the Sega CD, I stopped hearing about Sega. I didn't hear about the Saturn, and I barely even heard about the Dreamcast. And at that time, I was playing on N64,
Because
and
I just got a Saturn a couple of years ago, and I was highly impressed. It reminded me of kind of like a Sega version of a PlayStation 1. I'm like, dude, this is so cool.
oh, Saturn is a really good system. I got my Saturn. I got modded to switch between American and Japanese,
Oh, so
but
you got the cartridge to plug in. You probably got that.
and yeah, and I got the cartridge. I actually got what's called the Action Replay cartridge, and it's been flashed,
Yeah.
so I can actually, if I didn't have that mod with that, you could actually do it with make it region free, but with it flashed, I'm able to play burn Saturn games.
It reminded me of a PlayStation 1 because there's a lot of PS1 games on it. I'm like, dude, I love this system. I freaking love this.
You know,
Because remember, it had like Tomb Raider, it had like a lot of Mortal Kombat trilogy.
you know what? People thought Tomb Raider was originally came out for PlayStation, but it was a Saturn game and it got ported over to the PlayStation.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I discovered that a little bit ago. I'm like, really? I thought that was only on PlayStation.
I thought that as well, and on PC because the first time I actually played it was on a demo disc on the PC, and I didn't really like the demo disc because it was very, you know, bland. It was just like nothing there except her going around shooting wolves. I'm
The
like,
only complaint I have with the Saturn is the stupid like there's like no memory card slot. You have to use the battery or whatever and then like all
oh
that.
yeah,
I hate that. You have to replace the battery every year or whatever.
yeah. I mean,
That is that
at
is my
least
only complaint.
at least it's in the spot. It's able to replace it with that little door. But
Yeah, but I heard if it dies though, like all your saves are like gone or
oh
something like
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, all your save is gone, and I wouldn't doubt if the battery in my Saturn's dead because I keep anytime I load it up, it asks for the time and date. I was like, so I guaranteed that battery's dead.
Well, it's nice you can go to the dollar store and get those for like $5. That's nice.
Yeah, but I need to play more of my Saturn games. Like my late wife, she was more into Saturn games, and she got into it before the Saturn games were going up in price. So she was on top of that before I did.
My only another complaint with the Saturn, it's like they have a decent amount of games, but they're missing a lot of sequels. Like they have Tomb Raider 1, but there's no Tomb Raider 2, no Tomb Raider
Yep.
3. You know, they have Resident Evil 1, but there's no Resident Evil 2. It's like they were missing all the sequels.
Mm-hmm. I
That's
guarantee you
PlayStation had more shit.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you. I'll bet money what it was is because they looked at how well the PlayStation was doing. So, and same thing with the N64 was beating Saturn. So they're like, well, we'll port it to the N64 and to the PlayStation and fuck the Saturn.
Well, I heard the Saturn was a nightmare to develop for. That's what I.
Oh yeah, because I think they put two processors in there, and a lot of time. Well, it's because they didn't really think 3D gaming was going to be a thing. They thought it was going to be more like, I guess, 2.5D. And when they heard PlayStation's going to be 3D, they're like, oh shit, we better put this chip in. And
I
then,
remember seeing it at like a video store as a kid. I'd rent games, and there was like the Saturn section, and I'm like, I thought it looked cool, but like PlayStation like had more games. There was just more of PlayStation. They had Resident Evil 2 and 3, and then Saturn only had like Resident Evil 1. I'm like, and I completely passed on the Saturn as a kid.
well, I mean, see, that's the thing that sucks. It's when the system doesn't sell well, the the game companies aren't going to make games for it, and it's just a vicious loop. Like, they're not going to want to put in effort to put a game for a system that's not doing well. It's kind of
No.
like how the Wii U did horrible because, well, the third parties didn't want to support it, and it was all just Nintendo's support. Even though I love my Wii U, but
The Wii U is great, but most people I know mod it because it's just its lack of games.
yeah, I mean,
Like there's a handful of good Wii U, a handful, like that's about it.
not there's 95% of the great games from Wii U has been ported over to the Switch. There's very, very little left that hasn't. Like the biggest one I could tell you that hasn't been ported over is Yoshi's Woolly World. That is the biggest one that they're missing.
They even had Batman the Arkham games on there, and it was actually impressive on the Wii U. And some people
Yeah,
forget Batman's on the Wii U. I'm like, yeah,
yeah, like even though I mean the Wii U was just as powerful as the 360s, maybe a little bit more powerful, but it was
the
so.
problem with the Wii U, they promoted it wrong. Everybody thought it was just a Wii, and it was a totally new system. And most
Mm,
casual consumers are like, "Oh, we already have that. What's the difference?" They didn't understand it
eh,
was a completely new system.
yeah, and like they should have figured. Well, they still were selling Wii games in the Walmart, so they're like, but they weren't really producing anything except like really bad third party games like uh those dancing games.
Well, it was just the name too, the Wii U. It just sounds like Wii U. Why didn't you call it the Wii 2? Wii 2 would have made more sense.
Well, you would know it's like, hey, this is the new console.
Call it 2, and then
Yeah.
most casual consumers would go, "Oh, part 2. Okay, I don't know."
Or the Super Wii. Like
Or the like when the next Switch comes out, they should call it the Super Switch.
I'll bet you money I know what it's gonna be called. The reason why I say it's because if you look back what they did with the 3DS when they had that updated version with the new 3DS that was more powerful. I'll bet money it's going to be called the new Nintendo Switch.
See, I hate that. I don't like the whole new. It just call it the Super Switch. It's a throwback to Super Nintendo, Super Switch.
Oh, I agree.
That would be a cool name, Super Switch.
Because we all know they're not going to go back to normal consoles because they found their new thing with the Switch.
Like now you're playing with power, the Super Switch power.
Yeah, there you go. I wish they would bring those ads back like that. Those were
This,
bad.
Yeah, Sega Saturn had some crazy promotion back then too.
Oh yeah, you don't even really see those anything like that nowadays.
They were bizarre. It's like you need it, the Saturn. Oh yeah. It's like,
And
dude,
then you had that,
I need this system, dude.
and then you had the bald-headed woman with the rings around their head, or the bald black guy, the that his head's severed too. You know, because I mean his head's floating from nowhere.
That's why I'm never gonna sell my Saturn. I'm gonna keep it. I'm never selling that system. That system is so unique and cool.
Yeah, it is pretty unique. There's
Well, it's ahead of its time. It could actually connect to the internet back in like '95 or something. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
it's like I mean, did it had online gameplay or is it just like downloading stuff to it?
When I was trying to like discover the system and figure it out online because I didn't know much about it years ago. I didn't grow up with it, but I read an article where it actually said it could connect to the internet somehow back in like '95 or something like that. I'm like, that is insane.
See, I back in the say Genesis days, I had the Sega Channel, and that was pre-internet. It was running off the cable. So, I don't know if you heard about the Sega Channel.
Oh, the only thing I know about that was I remember they said the Dreamcast could connect to the internet when that came out, which was ahead of its time. But I had no idea the Saturn like could do that before the Dreamcast, you know?
Well, the Sega Genesis had the Sega Channel.
Yeah, see, I never had all that.
Oh, it was. I know it was select locations, and I think it was one of the, it helped parents like, oh, if you want to play new games, they would pay $15 a month for this service, and they would have 50 new Sega Genesis games to play. And it
Yeah, we were too poor for all that growing up.
well, it's a cheaper way than going out and buying games, though. So, like, it was cheaper to pay $15 than whatever
Well,
those games were
me
going.
me growing up, I was always behind. See, like I started like really playing games at like 1995, so I was about
Yeah.
5 years old. So I was playing Super Nintendo in '95 when like PS1 was about to release about '96. I was still playing Super Nintendo. And then
Well,
I didn't get a Sega until like 1998, 99. Like I was behind.
I mean, it happens like that. I mean, I
Or the PS1 when that came out, I was playing PS1 and I still had a Super Nintendo in '97, you know.
well, I mean, if you had fun, that's all that really matters, though.
Right, but I was just like, cause my age range, like I wasn't there when I don't remember when the Super Nintendo first released, cause I was too young.
Oh gosh.
So like I was just behind, like I was still playing it, and like when when it was kind of dying out, I was still playing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of old guy now. Like, I'm getting older, and I grew up playing the Atari 2600. Uh, I wasn't there when it first came out, but it was I was born in '82, so it was just before the crash. And but when we got the NES, it was like, oh my god, this like look the graphics is unbelievable. I mean, you go from Atari to NES, it was unbelievable. It's like if you're going from the NES to like modern day, you're like it blows your mind. That's how I was like back then.
Yeah, the original Nintendo blew up back then. It was like a worldwide phenomenon.
Oh yeah,
Cause
but hey,
Even me, I bought an Atari. I got mine in a trash bag for $20 at some store, and I
Oh,
liked it. I liked it. Like even though it was before my time,
Yeah.
I still appreciated it.
Oh, yeah, like I have systems that are older than I am. Like I like playing them if they work. But uh oh gosh. Like
Well,
I have
some of these kids nowadays they play the old stuff. Like this is so stupid. Where's the analog stick? This is
yeah.
old. Like they don't care. I'm like, but me growing up, I liked the old stuff from the '70s and '80s. I thought it was cool.
I mean they still make this stuff though too. I mean, God, look at Atari. They keep every once in a while they'll pump out a compilation cartridge or disc of their games. So I mean, and especially I wasn't really a fan, but people really loved the 50-year anniversary of it, where um, of Atari, I guess they would have not only just 2,600 games, they have 5,200 games, 7,800 games, Jaguar.
Dude, I need to get that. I forgot that even came out for PS5 and all that.
I wasn't okay with it, but there's a lot of people who really enjoyed it.
I like compilation sets with everything on one disc. I like that stuff.
Yeah, I wish there
Even
were.
I mean, I got a plug and play Atari. I can do it all on there, but it's still cool to
Yeah,
have it from modern systems in HD.
I think it would been cooler if they would maybe go more modern, like have more Jaguar games on there. But
Let's play some Jag.
hey, you know what?
Uh,
Jaguar is actually it gets so much shit. It actually I like my Jaguar, and I'm
the,
like,
the Jaguar was the Sega Saturn of Atari systems.
oh yeah. And people were like saying, "Oh, the controller sucks." They're like, or it's uncomfortable. It's like I guarantee you, they never held it. They hear other people say it sucks, and so they automatically say it sucks.
Well, I know
Like,
the disk drive sucks in it. The disk drive
oh
sucks.
yeah, that's why I heard the CD drives are horrible. But uh, what's weird with the Jaguar is that if you, let's say you have no game in there and you had it plugged in with the power supply on it and you hit the power button, it will not light up unless you have the cartridge in there. So a lot of times people would think their Jaguars were bad because their light wouldn't come on, but they just didn't realize I had to put a cartridge in there. And it has to be clean and making good connection too.
Wasn't that another system that was like $600 when it came out?
No, Jaguar wasn't that expensive. Maybe the 3DO you're thinking about that because that was $600-700. 3DO was super expensive.
I never
And I,
cared about I never cared about 3DO. I thought that system looked so crappy.
eh,
Well, then
I,
again, I'm judging it off of angry video game nerd.
I think it's because it just didn't have a lot of software to play. That's why I think why it did not do well. Plus, this is when it came out before the PlayStation, but when the PlayStation came out and it kicked its ass to oblivion.
It just reminds me
And
of I thought 3DO was like a game like growing up I used to play the Army Men games, and when you'd pop
yeah,
in the Army Men it would be like 3DO. And then years later I discovered it was a console. I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting."
what's weird about that is it is a console, but they would sell it was weird with the history of 3DO. They would give the license for people to make the system, and they would be making the games for it. But it was weird. And the people who were making the consoles were they had to pay. They had to make it $700 to make a profit off of it. But like they're not gonna pull Sony where they'll take a loss on it.
I've seen a couple 3DO games at my local game store. I was gonna buy them, but I didn't.
No.
Cause they had a couple of golf games. I like golf games. I'm like, oh, I should buy those. I don't really see 3DO often, but I didn't. I ended up not buying them.
Well, I got some different games. Like I got, was it PO'd? That's a
PO'd.
Yeah, really weird game. I really need to check that out.
Thing is, I have a problem. If I buy a couple 3DO games, I'm gonna need the entire collection because that's how I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I get addicted. I'm like, oh, I got a couple 3DO games now. I gotta buy the system, and then I have problems.
For me, I mean, I like collecting, but there's only a couple systems that I'm trying to get the full library. But
well, I don't mean the entire library. I mean I'm gonna buy like 20 games and then go broke and then buy the system and then I get kind of too invested. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Like I get addicted. Like, oh, I need the system now. I need the controller now. I need more games and like I get like really into it.
Ooh. My buddy Dave Rose gave me an idea. It's not a bad idea.
Dave Rose, shout out to Dave Rose.
You know what I'm gonna do? I am getting a little tired.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, it was great having you on, bro. I'm glad you came on by. We need to do this more often.
Yeah, I've been trying to get the time to do it. I'm always busy or I'm tired, I'm like, I got to get back on there.
No, there's no worries about it. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, "What? Why are you not here?"
Charles, why didn't you show up, dude? What's your problem?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, when AJ told me, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be busy. I got stuff to do." It's like, dude, I understand. I'm like, it's not. I mean, it's a hobby. It's not like a job,
No. I just do it when I get time. Even my stuff, I'm like, there's times where I'm too busy for YouTube. I'm like, I got other stuff going on.
Well, that's why a lot of times I'll do more recordings because I can record, like, I could like do a batch of recordings and then spread it out through the week. And
yeah, because even our show, the Powercast, I get requests. I want to be in the Powercast. Let's do one. I'm like, dude, I'm like tired as shit right now, bro.
Oh, dude, like I said earlier, I barely had the energy to. Like I left work. When I was exhausted leaving work, but I still had some energy to keep moving. But I get home, I ate, and I didn't even get the chance to sit down and watch SmackDown. I would put YouTube on, and I was out.
Dude, I missed SmackDown last week because the tornado interrupted the whole show.
Oh no, we got To Catch a Predators in the chat.
I don't know.
He found me. He says, "Is there a secret or a lie you have kept to yourself your whole entire life?" If I did, why would I tell you? I'm like, I'm not gonna incriminate myself to you, especially to Chris Hansen right there. He'll take my ass down.
Chris Hansen.
Like,
Have a seat. Have a seat.
oh my god, I love watching YouTube channels they'll review or react to his videos, and I like the reactions. Obviously, I don't like the people who get caught, but there's this big YouTuber channel called Cinema Toasted Ken, and him and his buddy reviews a bunch of stuff. And a lot of times I watch it because they do To Catch a Predator, and they'll definitely knock the people who comes in.
Dude, to me it's hilarious because like at the end of the show he'll be like, "Okay, you can leave," and then they walk out the door thinking they're all free, and then the cops just like beat the crap out of them. Like, get
Yeah,
on the floor, get on the floor.
yeah. Oh my God, he's keeps on asking questions. Have you lived a lot of different lives in your lifetime?
Yeah, I'm a cat. Yeah, I got 9 lives.
I'm wondering, is he saying like double lives? Dude, I barely have time for a normal life, much for a double life. Like, I I work. Maybe I'll go play video games or go do video game hunting, and I come home and take care of my dog and try to keep the house upright.
I got to do
But
some more video game hunting soon because I haven't went to the store in a while.
I actually have a bunch of cool stuff. I showed you a couple of them recently. With the little handheld thing that was.
Yeah, I've been taking a break because like I go on these urges to buy everything. I've just been taking a break.
Oh, I understand that, dude. I really need to be more careful.
Yeah, because like you'll get burned out, bro. Like
I really, honestly, for me, it's not like I don't really get burnt out because um I I try to do like I have the same route I usually do all the time, and then every once in a while it's like fuck it, I'll go this way, and I'll do a couple stores like an hour or so away, and hopefully it does well. If not, I'm traveling. It's peaceful sometimes to me.
yeah, I
But
just like going on the road and going to the store and just hunting. It's fun, but sometimes it's like, man, like I need to take a break.
I can understand that. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I wish I had a buddy to come with me. Sometimes I'll have my buddy Scott to go with me, or when I was living in Pennsylvania, it would be me and my late wife, or me and my late wife, or her brother, or be me and her brother, and uh, go do game hunting.
Well, do you watch Iowa Retro Gamer Dad? He's a good YouTuber. Have you heard of him?
No, but I'm always looking for new channels to look.
Because he talks about the dark side of gaming, how like addiction can become like a huge problem, and like you're just buying stuff just to buy it. Like he talks about like the dark side of it.
I can see why. Believe me, I can see why, because a lot of times, like, there's some stuff like right now, like there's some systems at my local game store. I'm like, oh, I would love to get that.
You're right, and
Like,
you think it's gonna disappear. Like, man, I gotta buy that now. Someone's gonna buy it. Oh my god.
oh, exactly. Well, because a lot of times it's stuff that I've never seen in person before.
Right.
Like there's this one system at my local game store has a a promotional use only Atari 2600 in the box, and I was like, and it's like $150. Like, oh god, I wish I can buy that.
Yeah, then the fear of missing out, like the
Yeah.
whole fear of someone's gonna buy it, dude. I should have bought that. Then you kick yourself if you didn't get it. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, I do that for a little bit. Then I was like, yeah, fuck it. It wasn't to be.
it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be because there's sometimes like I was planning to pick up this Famicom version of the Power Glove, and I was like, I thought no way in hell anyone was going to pick that up because who's going to pick up a Japanese version of the Power Glove? So I'm
Oh my
like,
god, the shitty Power Glove.
yeah.
It's
So
powerful.
so I was like, no one's gonna pick that up. It's like honestly, I'm gonna be the one who's picking that up because no one's gonna want the Famicom version. And after a couple weeks, yeah, it was gone. I was like, was it meant to be? Then I'm like, if it's not, if I usually if I like to find the stuff in person, but I will every once in a while do eBay stuff.
See, I love eBay, but I hate waiting. I hate waiting. It's like I want it now, bro. I want it
Yeah,
now.
exactly. But it's also it's not as fun. You're like, oh, okay, I just bought this on eBay.
Yeah, then
Alright.
you get in the mail and it might be scratched up like this isn't what I ordered, and then you get mad.
Yeah, or like right now, there's one that's I'm pretty sure either the guy didn't send it out or it got lost, and I'm gonna give it a little bit more time before saying, hey, something happened because I still don't have it.
Yep.
But I prefer finding stuff in person than
Yeah, because the hunt of it is fun. You're in person, you see it, you can hold it. You know what I'm saying? You check it
exactly,
out.
or even seeing it like in the case.
Yeah, like man, like I've never seen this in person. I gotta like, damn, this is a deal. This is like $20 cheaper than eBay. You know?
Yeah, or if it's like a there's this chain I always go to. It's called Vintage Stock, and a lot of times their prices are outrageous, but every once in a while they'll fuck up, and I'll catch them slipping, and I would have to pop on it. It's like I know I don't have the money right now, but I know this is worth more than this. So I was like, I'm gonna have to pop on it so I can either turn around and flip it or get it in the collection.
I mean, as long as your bills are paid and you got extra money, do what you want. You know, that's what I tell
Exactly.
people. As long as your bills are paid, hey.
Yep, I agree. But Charles, I'm gonna take off. Do you want to shout out your channel?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Hold on. I actually, before you do that, I have a where I bring it up. I took a screenshot of your channel, right?
Cool, cool.
There we go. It's not updated, but I just took a screenshot on YouTube. It
Yeah,
helps
because
me.
we're at like 736 subs now.
Nice.
Yep. So
So
everybody check out Video Game XD. It's me, Marky Mark, Jen. We got a lot of guests on the channel like Jeremiah, Wade. We do video game reviews, tech, game hunting, food reviews. We got our own show, Gamer Crave. We got the Powercast Progression, which is our podcast. We talk about wrestling, sports, anything. And check it out, yo.
gosh, it sounds like you're busy over there, man.
Yeah, I'm used to doing it. Just check us out, blah, 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 blah.
Like for me right now, the only thing I really ever stream is this or other things, but like I usually do just gameplays or video game huntings, and every once in a while, like a wrestling pay-per-view review, you know. But
See, we kind of do it we kind of have something for everybody. You know, some people are into games or movies. We talk about
yeah,
movies or food, or then we do the PowerCast sports. We try to make it a little bit for everybody.
I think that's a great idea.
And we also keep it like PG-13. I mean, we cuss a little bit, but we don't overdo it. We're kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm like, I don't mind the cussing, but it's when there's certain words that get YouTube where they
Yeah.
shadow ban you if you say certain words. So I had to tell some of the guys, like, all right, we gotta stay away from certain words so we don't get shadow banned.
Well, even Angry Video Game Nerd, he has to censor his stuff, some of it now. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's the era we live in. You can't be swearing too much, and that's just the era we're in. I don't know what to tell people.
Yeah, it's true. And like, I think it's stupid. I mean, especially when there's YouTube kids. Like, I think you should be allowed to do almost everything you want, minus honestly hate speech is different. But like, if you want to cuss, and like if you're on normal YouTube, I feel like it's almost like XM. Like, if you want to be really family friendly, then
Well, my thing is, I don't like being family friendly, like PG. To me, that's just corny. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
really like that, but I like being kind of in the middle, like PG-13, like in the middle.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. That's just our style. I mean, anybody can do whatever style they want, but that's just kind of that's our forte of it.
That sounds good, because I mean, I don't mind being a little controversial or just being a little, messing around or say stupid shit. But I'll be like I think a lot of people knows we're just joking around. So
Right, but there's idiots out there who don't think you're joking. They don't understand. They're like, "Oh my god," and they get, all that.
Exactly. But I appreciate you coming on, bro.
No problem. Casey's Raw. Check out Friday's Raw.
And we're gonna get out, and I'm gonna probably take a nap. Oh, go to bed. And why take a nap when it's nighttime? So
You know what I'm doing tonight? I'm playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, baby.
Oh, have fun, man.
Game Pass.
All right. You guys have a good night. We're out.
Peace.